to the next level. And these tips will work for you whether you've been a VA for a while or you're just starting out. So I'd love to hear where you're coming in from and how long you've been a VA. So if you put that in the comments, that would be great. So we are streaming everywhere today. We are on Facebook, multiple places on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter, and we're on YouTube. So if you're watching us from YouTube, be sure to click the link to subscribe to our channel. My team and I are in the process of revamping it. Very exciting. And I'd love for you to be notified every time we do one of these free trainings, which is multiple times a week. Awesome. All right. So today we're going to talk about the role of corporate experience and how that plays out in being a successful virtual assistant. But before we do, I want to introduce myself for a minute and then see who's here with us. Okay. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I would love to answer them while we're here together today. Good. All right. So this is me and my daughter, Emily. This is back in 2010, 13 years ago, when I was just starting my virtual assistant business, and my life had taken kind of an unexpected turn. I was sliding into my 50th birthday, and I had some expectations of where I was going to be. I'm a huge planner, so I was thinking, okay, by this date, and it seemed reasonable. I was watching people around me achieve the goals that I wanted, which was to be happily married, to be a homeowner, have retirement savings underway, things that sort of seemed normal, and attainable. But instead, I was on the polar opposite of that. I was getting divorced. I had to sell my house because I wasn't able to pay the mortgage for over a year. I had 6 figures of debt. I owed the IRS a ton of money for 7 years of back taxes. And it was just complete chaos. In fact, I hadn't filed my taxes in so long, I didn't even know what the number was. And it was really hard to face. And the problem was that I kept putting it off. I kept putting it off thinking, it's going to get better next month. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was nowhere near, I thought I was going to be on this milestone birthday of 50. And I had to figure out how to turn it around, so I decided I was going to do admin work. I liked admin work. I felt comfortable there. I felt like I was good at it. I had been a secretary and went to secretarial school back in the dark ages. And, so I decided to return to my roots. And a successful entrepreneur that I knew said, tell everybody you know about your business. I know you don't even know what you're doing, but just start telling people. And so I did that. And I got my first client at the school bus stop. I was talking to the dads one morning, waiting for the bus. And he said, what's new? And I said, well, I'm starting this business. I didn't even know what virtual assistant was. I'm doing admin work. I want to help entrepreneurs. I think it'll be really great for everyone, blah, blah, blah. And his entire face changed because he had started a business just a month or so before and was drowning in all the things that I knew how to do, like pay the bills and install software on a computer and organize his inbox. And so it was really great. And here's the takeaway from that, though, that's really interesting. Excuse me. I was thinking about that. If I had known that he was a business owner, I probably wouldn't have told him, because I was so afraid that everyone I told was going to think that I was asking for work, when really, and you've heard me say this, we are the solution to someone else's problem. So instead of it benefiting me, which it did, to be paid to help him, it benefited him so much because he was able to grow his business. And it's a very, very successful business because he wasn't thinking about all of the things that I was taking on, And so the takeaway from this is that, you don't know where your clients are going to come from. And if you're doing prospecting, if you're spending even a minute sort of strategizing where you're going to go find them, I want you to knock it off, because that's not how you get clients. It's 100% not how you get clients. And if you want some more information about how you can get clients, I'll tell you a little bit about that at the end of our session today. But in addition to that, you can go check out our blog. There are about 170, I think, articles over there, and there's a whole section dedicated to getting great clients. So definitely scoot over there and check it out. All right. And now we're going to fast forward because by leaning in, by changing my mindset, and by starting to keep my word to myself, which is something I talk about a lot, I started to step out of this horrible place that I found myself, and I started to step out of my comfort zone, which then later became comfortable, to be able to believe in myself, to trust myself, and to build a successful business. And I was thinking about this yesterday because we were in New York last night, New York City, celebrating my stepson's engagement, and he has a job. He has a great job, and he's also about to start a business. And I thought, you know what? When he feels the thrill of making money on his own without having a job, without having to rely on his boss or the guidelines of the company, when he sees that he can create it itself, it's going to blow his mind. And that's exactly what happens. And that's what I want for you too, is that feeling of being able to take care of yourself from your own ideas, from following what you learn at the VA Connection and VA school, and to apply it to truly become self-reliant. That is a powerful feeling. That is a powerful feeling. And so the first year that I was in business, I generated $70,000 as a virtual assistant. And for the next 10 years, I was able to create $100,000 working from home as a VA. And there's really nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. And I would love to teach you how to do this too. So this is what it looks like today. It's a very different picture. This is actually 2 years ago. We just celebrated, Greg and I, my husband, celebrated our second wedding anniversary. And I have to tell you guys, looking back, it's like, doing the things that I teach you all, I created a thriving business. I have a great relationship with my daughter. I was there as she grew up. I can breathe again, and married the man I've been looking for my whole life, who is this station wagon driving, not literally, but, Christmas tree on the top guy with all the kids in the back. That's who I was looking for. And that's who Greg is. And if someone would have said to me at any age, you're going to marry the person you've been looking for at 60, just hang on, I would have thought they were crazy. Right. But this was us, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And this is Andy right here. This is my stepson who's getting married. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's the last blonde boy on the right, Andy. Yeah. He's just about to turn 31. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And I bet you guys are ready to get started too. Right. So let's see who's here. All right. So we've got Frederica is here from Amsterdam, and Amy is here from Texas. And Hang is here. Hello. Good morning from Tammy in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Hello. Talara is here from Calgary, and Michelle is here, and her name is showing, which is quite a thing, you guys, because sometimes it's a struggle for StreamYard, and Michelle does not let something go. So she tackled that, got her name up there from Frisco, Texas. Heather is here. Hello from Houston. Hello. Heather, we've got two Heathers here today. Heather Carnahan is here from Chattanooga, I believe. And Maria is here from Edmonton and visiting us on YouTube. And Leanne is here too from New Jersey. Cool. All right, you guys. So let's dive into this topic. All right, let's dive into this topic because so what we're going to talk about is this concept of corporate America. Okay, because when when I've talked to virtual assistants and they're just starting out, and I often hear them say in a very unhappy tone, I'm really at a disadvantage because I don't have any corporate experience. You guys, all this is doing is making you feel bad, right? It's making you feel like you have a longer road. It's making you feel like, you don't have what it takes. It's stealing your confidence. And I want you to know 100% that having a corporate background gives you zero advantages when starting a virtual assistant. What really would give you a big advantage is knowing how to use Google and knowing how to type. So, way more than corporate. You can be just as successful as a virtual assistant if you're a bartender, a mom, a teacher, or a zillion other professions. You can absolutely. And in fact, what's required in a lot of the other professions are things that will make you successful as a virtual assistant. All right. So managing multiple things at once, having multiple clients, being able to track different parts of different projects and keeping track of them. That's a huge piece. All right. The ability to stay focused on one thing at a time. Huge, huge. Knowing how to organize data, paper, any kind of information. Paying attention to the details, right? Being willing to learn new things. Now that is huge. That is really huge, because I'm going to talk about this more in a minute, but I want you to know that pretty much nothing I learned in corporate applied to being a VA. So I had a lot to learn, and I learned new things every single day. And that's what makes it fun. Once you can lean into it and say, oh, I'm learning a new thing now, instead of, getting upset by it, like, oh, I don't know everything. You can't know everything. That is impossible. So you just want to let that go. But the other thing, in addition to learning new things, is being able to figure something out, more. This is a big concept right here. More important than knowing all the answers is knowing the questions to figure it out. Because with today's technology and Google and all the things that we have at our fingertips, if you can ask the questions that will get you to the answers, you can find out anything in a minute on your phone, just talking to, I'm not going to say her name, but you know who on your phone, hey, you know who. I was doing that last night when we were driving home. Greg and I had a bunch of questions about stuff and that had come up during the night that we wanted to know the answers to. And I just kept picking up my phone. It's like, oh, the answer is this. Oh, the answer is this. So it's really all about asking good questions and being able to feel comfortable in the learning, right? That's critical, to be comfortable in the learning. And the great thing is that you're not doing it in front of someone. Like, it's not like you're at work and someone's watching you, figure something out. And so in the beginning, you might take significantly more time to figure something out than you do once you've been a VA. I've been a VA for 20,000 hours, like literally more than that. I added it up because I thought, how long have I been doing this? And so once you feel comfortable with not knowing everything and being okay with that, that's when you're able to relax. The stress kind of melts away and you just think, okay, I'm going to learn something new, right? I'm going to learn something new. Okay. So I want to talk about, I want to talk about the list of services that I provide to clients every single day. And none of them are difficult to learn. And none of these did I ever do in corporate. In fact, the ways that I made the most money, the services that I made the most money with as a virtual assistant, I didn't even know what they were. Like, I didn't know they existed. I didn't know the software. I had never heard of it. Okay. So one of the big things that I teach my students is to learn how to do an email newsletter. Now, you want to do this in a very specific way. And as part of VA School, there's a whole bonus standalone course on email newsletters. You can also go over to our blog, and there's a bunch of information about how to do them there as well. But I had no idea, because most corporations, the admin is not doing the admin. There is an admin somewhere if they have a corporate newsletter, but she's probably in the marketing department. It's like a very narrow niche. So I had no idea how to do that. I did not know how to do to update websites. I knew PowerPoint, but only a little tiny bit. And so when my client, Martha, asked me to do her PowerPoint presentations, I got myself, remember, this is 13 years ago, into the car and went over to Barnes and Noble, which is a bookstore in the US, and bought PowerPoint for Dummies. And I did the work and learned PowerPoint, and then I knew how to use it, right? Setting up credit card processing. That's not something that most people know how to do, right? Because if you have a job in corporate, that's the IT department or accounting, or I don't even know, who does that, but definitely not me. And so that was something that I needed to set up for my business so that I could get paid. And then when clients saw that I knew how to do that, they asked me to do that for them as well. Also, before, as I started my business, social media was completely different. And people were typing things on Facebook like heading to the airport. There were no images, right? Instagram, I don't even know if it was invented. But if it was, I was not on it. And LinkedIn was around for sure. But that's the kind of thing that you learn how to do for yourself, and then you apply that to your, to your clients. Setting up email accounts. If you've set up a Gmail account, you know how to do it, right? And you can do that for clients as well. But again, unless you worked in the IT department of whatever corporation you worked for, you were not doing that. Someone was giving you your username and your password, okay? So the best way is to learn these new skills is to tackle them one at a time as you set up your own VA business. So I really want you to just take in for a minute that you don't need this corporate experience, and that, I guess I was thinking about this morning. I mean, the fact that I'm used to sitting at a desk, that's probably useful, and again, I know how to type pretty fast. That's useful as well. But the applications that I use every single day to support myself and my clients, most of them were not invented. And there are so many applications out there, you just can't learn them all. It's impossible. But as you set up your own business, if you learn one deeply, like let me give you an example. So when I first started out, I did know how to use Constant Contact. I had a business before Rocket Girl Solutions, and I used Constant Contact. And so I knew how to use a tiny bit of it. So when my client came to me and she said, would you help me with my newsletter? It's on MailChimp. I first thought was panic. And then I thought, no. And then I thought, relax. And then I said, yes. And I thought, okay, I'm going to spend a little time of my own time figuring out how this works. And now I'm on MailChimp all day long. And even though I only understand a fraction of the functionality, I'm able to generate lots of revenue for myself as a virtual assistant, knowing it. So by just knowing Constant Contact pretty well, that translates to MailChimp and Infusionsoft and Active Campaign, and all of these different things that you may or may not even have heard of. It all kinds of it translates, because the functionality is similar. It's just learning where they keep the buttons and what they call things, right? That's really the difference, but you'll understand the concepts. So think about that as well. Okay. So if you're worrying about, this whole corporate thing, I want you to just cross it off your list. It's 100% not a thing at all. And if you have corporate experience, that's great too. You might have more experience doing, admin-y kinds of things. But the truth is that, some of the things that I did for my clients, I hadn't done in 30 years, and the world had changed quite a bit during that time. So just relax and know that you're going to be okay. All right. So let's see who else is here. So we've got Tristy's here from Billings, Montana, and Christy is here from Iowa. Hello. And Debbie is here from Mineral Wells, Texas. It's good to see you guys. All right. So I said I was going to tell you about something else that will help you get clients. And that is on September 18th, 2 weeks from yesterday, we are going to kick off another round of Kickstart Your VA Business. So if you would like a 5-day free training specifically on how to get your business off the ground, I would love for you to join me. We have bonus sessions this time around. Actually, this is the third time we've had the bonus sessions. We're going to have mindset sessions every single day at 11 o'clock a.m. to get your brain in the right place so you can make the most of the trainings. And then Monday through Friday, starting on the 18th of September, we'll have an hour-long training all about getting clients. We start with what services you can offer. We learn how to talk about your work so people will understand what you do. On day 3, on Wednesday, we talk about we talk about where to. So there's this whole concept that I teach about clients finding you. You don't go out and find them. And I teach you the top 3 places where you want to be so clients can find you. And it's not on Facebook. You might be surprised. On the 4th day, what we're talking about is the 4th pillar in my program, which is the support systems that you need to turn those clients into a business. And I'm going to open enrollment for VA School, which is very exciting. My signature course, all things about how to run a successful business. And then on Friday, we're going to have an epic Q&A. So put that on your calendar. You can sign up at vakickstart.com. And I would love, love, love to have you. All right. So excellent. So I invite you to attend the session. This Lessons from the Cockpit airs every week at the same time at 10:30 on Tuesday morning. So mark it on your calendar and be sure to catch us next time live. All right. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.